not going to waste any time. If you've been paying attention to the news recently, you've probably seen reports of people in the United States receiving mystery seeds in the mail from somewhere in China. If you receive some of these seeds, burn them right away. Don't ask any questions. Just drench them in lighter fluid and set them on fire. I can't stress this enough, or else you might end up like me. My name's Dea, and I've been residing in the northeastern part of the United States for the last 12 years. About a week and a half ago, I received a package of mystery seeds before the current warnings were even issued by the Department of Agriculture. While I thought it was weird, when I mentioned the news to my closest friend Miles, he told me that I should try planting one for the hell of it. What the hell is the worst case scenario? He said jokingly. He shortly followed up with, the plant's not going to try and kill you in your sleep or anything. Well, he couldn't have been more right. A few days after, I planted some of the seeds. They started to sprout and bloom into some of the most beautiful flowers I had ever seen. The petals were different shades of green, purple, and red, and gave off a slightly fluorescent glow. Now, while I'm no expert florist, I could tell that this was a one-of-a-kind plant. I immediately invited Miles over, and after his shift, he swung by my house and knocked on the door. As I opened the door, I was greeted by a skeptical-looking Miles, with a look of irritation across his face. "You better not be wasting my time, man," he said half jokingly, half serious. However, as soon as he saw the flower, he had nearly an identical reaction to mine. We both excitedly decided to let it grow and to keep an eye on it for another few days to see what would happen. Around a week ago, a few days after Miles and I decided upon our agreement, I checked out the windowsill where the flower was located as I was heading downstairs and recoiled in shock. The flower had grown out of its pot, and smaller flowers were starting to grow along the wall. I immediately texted Miles, and he showed up around 20 minutes later, making his way to the windowsill where the flower had originally been planted. As soon as he saw the state of the flower, a concerned expression crossed his face. After discussing what to do, we eventually decided to cut the plant's water supply to try and halt the plant's growth. The next morning, as I headed downstairs while getting ready for work, I dropped the mug I was holding while looking down from the top of the stairwell. The flowers had grown across the door, blocking my only means of escape of my apartment. At first, I tried tugging on the doorknob, but it felt as if the roots of a tree had grown over my door instead of a wall of flowers. With no other options left, I tried tugging at the actual wall of flowers itself. With no luck either, after failing to pry the flowers off with a knife, I immediately dialed the local fire department. While I expected them to think that my issue was just a prank call, the operator on the other end of the line suddenly seemed to become even more concerned. The operator responded with, "This is out of our pay grade, but I might be able to forward you to some guys that might be able to help." I thanked the operator, and around a few minutes later, I was met by a male voice, which sounded like it had been filtered through multiple voice changers. After re-explaining my story to the man, he replied in a strict tone, "Stay in a corner, as far away from the plant as possible. If you have a balcony that is still accessible, make sure to leave the entrance to the balcony open. When the rescuers arrive to help you, avoid any contact with them, as you may have been contaminated by interacting with the plant. Good luck." I wonder what he meant by rescuers, and why he didn't specify who was coming to help me, such as the police, fire department, or even the military. But I decided not to question it, and follow the orders that he had given me right away. About an hour and a half later, I heard the deafening sound of helicopter blades approaching the top of my apartment building. No sooner than a few seconds later, men wearing full black biohazard suits clambered down a pair of dangling ropes onto my apartment balcony and into my apartment. The men were unlike any I had ever seen, with their only identifiable mark being a logo with 3 arrows on their armbands. I was ordered by the men to lie on a stretcher and was threatened with force if I refused to comply. One of the men injected me with a sedative, and the world faded to black. I woke up in a holding cell, what must have been a few hours later, with windows made out of reinforced bulletproof glass. I was told over an intercom that I would be here for a few weeks in quarantine until they made sure that I was not contaminated in any way. Unfortunately, I don't think I'll ever leave this place. Around 2 days ago, I noticed a flower on the surface of my hand. I tried to brush it off, and when that didn't work, I tried clawing and scratching at it. The damn thing seems to be made out of steel or something, because it's impossible to get off. As of now, while I'm writing this, the flowers have spread to roughly 50% of my body. I know I don't have much time, and that this thing will probably kill me. Luckily, my captors left me with my cell phone and clothes, as I guess they didn't dare touch me, which is why I'm able to record this now. My phone's about to die. So let me leave you all with this warning. If you get mystery seeds from China, burn them, and don't even think about touching them.